Hello guys, and good morning to you all. It's early in the morning, it's 6 o'clock right now, and I wanted to show you guys my daily routines, mostly in the morning, what I do and how I go about my daily activities. So, I'm going to carry you guys along so that you have a view of what I do early in the morning. Okay, without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, so the first thing I normally do is to just when I come, I just go around and I have a look at the animals in general. What I mean by that is I normally go around and I just inspect the animals to see whether everyone is doing well. Okay, one sure way of detecting that whether your animal is fine or not is to just have a look at how the animal is lying down, age stature and all that. Okay, definitely if the animal is not feeling well or is not very fine, it's going to indicate. Okay, normally you find them lying around the corners and the fur is not looking very smooth as it is. Okay, I equally have a look at their feet too as well to see whether they've consumed the food that I normally give them in the evening. Okay, so the next thing I normally do is to go ahead and look at my lactating dose or my pregnant dose. Okay, so in this case I didn't have lactating dose. I didn't have pregnant dose. What I had was lactating dose. Okay, so I normally go in and I inspect each bunny. Okay, whilst I'm inspecting, I'm also making sure that I'm taking note of their total number, because there can be times where the doe goes in to nurse the bunnies, and in the process of nursing, a bunny will hold on to the breast of the doe. So in the process of her jumping out of the litter box, she might carry the bunny along. Okay, so I normally make sure I inspect the bunnies thoroughly. I inspect them individually, one after the other, and I equally take notice of their number too as well. One thing I equally do too as well is to inspect whether they've been fed. Okay, I inspect each those bunnies to ensure that she has properly fed her dose before I continue with the next step. Okay, this is to ensure that all the bunnies are growing well, to prevent other bunnies from being malnourished. Okay, once I realize that there's a bunny among the bunnies that is being malnourished, what I do is that I normally force feed the bunny. Okay, I'm going to be making a video on how to force feed your bunnies. Okay, there are some mothers that when they give birth, they do not take care of all the bunnies. Okay, so it's the responsibility of you, the farmer, to ensure that these bunnies are being well taken care after. Okay, so if these bunnies are not being fed, please make sure you ensure that these bunnies are fed. Okay, because this is your profit you are talking about here, right? Now this litter you are looking at here is a doe that gave birth very well but wasn't nursing her bunny, simply because this is her first time and she was finding it very hard to nurse the bunny. So what I do is that I normally force feed the bunnies. Okay, so this is one of the bunnies that the litter that I normally pay attention to before I continue with the rest of my activities on the farm. Alright, so next what you can see is after I've inspected my bunnies and I've realized that everything is moving on well, I move on to the next stage, which is the cleaning. So now I make sure I clean all the cages thoroughly. I scoop out all the poop and I drain all the urine and I put them in their rightful places. Okay, I've made avenue for the collection of the urine as well as the poop too as well. The rabbit droppings normally go to the garden, and the rabbit's urine is being harvested and stored in containers. Okay. So the next thing I normally do is to ensure that the animals have water before I give them the feed. Okay, they must have drank all the water over the night, so I'm ensuring that they are getting clean fresh water for the next day. Okay, and also check to see if the water is not very clean. I dispose of the water and I clean the containers in which I fill the water in, then I give them fresh new water. Okay, so the next thing I do after I have given them their water is to finally go ahead and ensure that these animals are being fed. Okay, so I go ahead and I give them their feed, which is the concentrates. So I ensure that each animal gets the required grams that they need for the morning. Okay, so that's just me right here feeding them. And of course, to the lactating dose, I normally ensure that they get extra because they have the bunnies around, and the bunnies are going to be feeding on the same concentrates. Okay, so you need to increase the quantity you are giving to that particular doe. Okay, so let's take it that you are giving them 150 grams, so it means that you'll be giving them you'll be giving twice or maybe thrice depending on the bunnies that their mother is having. Okay, yeah, so that's just the bunnies. It's feeding time, and they're having a wonderful time with their food. Okay, so that's just them feeding, right? And it's always a joy to watch these animals feed, simply because it's what we love to do. And definitely when you see your animals feeding and feeling happy like this, it's a joy that we would always want to see on our farm all the time. So guys, that's my morning routine. That's what I engage in every single morning. Okay, so right now you know how I go about my daily activities early in the morning, and I hope you've learned a thing or two. And if you have, be kind enough to share it with me in the comment section. Okay, I'll be very much interested to know what you've learned from this video. I hope you had fun watching it too as well. Okay, so until I see you guys again, it's a goodbye. Stay safe.